やめろ。レバーから手を離せ。バカな真似はやめるんだ。やめろ。やめろ。
Hello once again, my chickadees. Game & Chick is back once more with another review. Before we hop to it, I'd like to give a big thank you to the folks over at Sega for providing me a review copy to make this review possible. Thank you so much! So now with that out of the way, let's go! Sonic Cross Shadow Generations is the latest Sonic game to drop for the series, and it is developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega. With Sonic on a roll right now and spin dashing his way from video games into the big screen, Sega decided let's try to keep the momentum going and release a remastered version of Sonic Generations, but with all new content featuring the Dark Boy himself, Shadow. But is Shadow's new content enough to purchase this game in the same fashion as Bowser's Fury was for 3D World? Or is this a case of reading the room wrong? Only one way to find out, so let's speed into action! Gameplay. If you're like me and consider the Xbox 360 your primary console of the PS3, 360, and Wii era, even having to snap on a hard drive to it or still using physical memory cards, which I do not miss to be honest. To be fair, I'll always have a soft spot for memory cards, especially considering all my old Minecraft content from 13 plus years ago is still on one of them, which I went and checked out a year or so ago, which is freaking awesome. I mean, I literally had a giant ghost ship and a Link figure flipping the bird to players. Good times. But we're not here for a total nostalgia trip of the last true great Xbox era. Nope, but we are here to talk about one of its premier Sonic games, making a comeback with completely new content. What game is this? Well, it's the 2011 highly loved title of Sonic Generations, but now with 100% more Shadow in tow. To get it out of the way now, Sonic Generations, the vanilla version, was absolutely fantastic from start to finish, with its seemingly endless amounts of replayability, updated version of the best stages from previous Sonic games that got reimagined to both 2D and even 3D stages to make each stage feel not only nostalgic, but also feel very fresh too. Basically the opposite of how Fresh Froggy probably smells. Big, give that dang frog a bath already! I can smell him from here! Each level in vanilla Sonic Generations, and even in this remaster, still holds up fantastic, and it still remains for me one of the best Sonic games of the modern era, alongside titles like Sonic Colors and even the recent open world game of Sonic Frontiers, both of which I reviewed within the last few years. What about Sonic Forces, you say? Well, Even 13 years later, Generations holds up to a staggering level, with all acts to play through and unlock in this game, offering you new ways to experience branching pathways as you speed your way through a level or take your time to try each of those pathways to see which secrets you can discover. The one secret that eludes us though? Why the heck did Sonic Team try to make a human fall in love with a hedgehog? Seriously! I mean, I can justify Sonic using a sword as a knight or even turning into a werehog, but whatever Sonic 2006 was going for was just as out of pocket as Jake Sully and Avatar abandoning the entire human race because he had a blue alien fetish. Yikes! Weird alien and human to hedgehog fetishes aside, Sonic Generations, even in this remaster, still features the great challenge stages that I spent hours with in the original, and once again do so here in this version as well due to their variety, difficulty, myself aiming to get the best score as possible, as well as being able to enjoy the fluid and unique mechanics that this game has to offer, alongside some very familiar faces with fan-favorite characters joining you. But if you're familiar with my reviews by now, you know that even when I hype up various gameplay elements like speed dashing and split-second reactions of ducking and sliding to get under low-hanging areas with precision, or jumping back and forth from light rail to light rail like you're trying to save Yuna from marrying that ugly jerkface Seymour, then you know I do love me some boss fights. And again, if you haven't played the original, then you're definitely in for a treat. So hang on to your seat, you're in for adventure and remarkable feats. Wait, hang on, that's the wrong franchise. but what I am referring to are the awesome boss fights against characters such as Metal Sonic and Waterboy Chaos himself, as you get a nice throwback, and that makes you want to go back and play the amazing Sonic Adventure, which I still have yet to review, even though I've been trying to for like 3 years now. But I'll just say, aw yeah, this is happening! Eventually anyways. My shortcomings in reviewing aside, the boss fights stay just as fun as they were 13 years ago and serve as thrilling highlights to go alongside its already creative design and thrill. However, even though it's back and better than ever, modern changes have been made to the game for whatever reason. For example, changes are made to the in-game dialogue that, for me, makes absolutely no sense. Like Amy now having cupcakes instead of Sonic blowing her off completely, or characters changing the hype speeches to context that doesn't make sense. My only reason as to why this happened was just to line up more with the modern games for both character development and lore, but still, I can't say I'm a fan of it. Even if it doesn't majorly impact the game at all or having major bearings on the story, it's still noticeable if you're a big fan of the original. But overall, Sonic Generations Remaster is still a must-play for any Sonic fan, especially considering that this is just the setup to the main course of Shadow's campaign in this title. The real highlight of this pack is definitely Shadow's campaign, which is just as long as the campaign for the base game of Sonic Generations, but far more epic and engaging in my personal opinion. Taking place during the events of Sonic Generations, while Sonic and crew are off doing their adventures, wisecracking with each other, having the time of their life, and then having an epic chili dog picnic, Shadow is basically in his own living hell. What kind of trade-off is that? At least invite our bro to the picnic. He's been through some things! Even with Shadow being in his own personal hell compared to the lap of luxury Sonic and crew are on, with this personal torment making him see Maria once again, and giving fans of Shadow himself both positive memories or PTSD due to Shadow's campaign incorporating a tiny bit of elements from his 2005 title, which is either an I loved it type of game, or it's an abomination like Sonic 2006 type of deal. I've never seen an in-between opinion on it. Luckily, it takes the good elements from the 2005 entry and doesn't squarely focus on them, and instead allows for a campaign roughly 6 to 7 hours long to take you through iconic levels from his game as well, just like Sonic Generations, also giving you a new perspective on them via 2D and 3D acts, which also gives you a 3D hub that's similar to both what you've seen in Sonic Frontiers or the hub of Sonic Generations when unlocking stages. Honestly, it's pretty much a sin for video games to offer me a hub world to explore because I totally forget that there's a game to be made and just wander off in search of something new, something shiny, and just get way too distracted. Case in point, with things like the recent Mario Party title where I ended up spending a good 5 hours just decorating my plaza, or even a good example of doing the same thing with my hub world and Astrobot to collect a bunch of new friends and collectibles. The same remains here with Shadow's Hub, complete with being able to unlock new art pieces and bopping music that gives you a flashback to the first time you heard it, either as a teen or even as a child, which at one point it makes you feel happy and nostalgic, and then the next it makes you realize, holy crap, I'm getting old as heck, and begin writing your will. When you finally decide to stop being a crazy lunatic like me and zoom across the hub world all day, you can truly appreciate what Shadow's campaign brings to you. Actual full-on plot details that furthers your understanding of the relationships between characters like Gerald Robotnik and even Maria, who sadly is going to go through it and get taken out once again in the Sonic 3 movie, morbidly to the praise of all Sonic fans alike. Other notable story beats go to Black Doom, Rouge the Bat, and showcasing just how much of a pure badass Shadow actually is in the process by riding in stingrays, Mission Impossible free-falling through lasers, dodging gigantic enemy robots as you dash along their arms, high-speed dashing at blinding speeds, giving chase to Doom Eye in a destroyed city, and even using Chaos Control to stop time to give yourself an advantage, which is awesome and not as embarrassing as it ended up being for Guldo and Dragon Ball. Overall, at the end of the day, Sonic Cross Shadow Generations ends up being a perfect package in the same vein as 3D World and Bowser's Fury ended up being. Not only do you get a great 6 to 7 hour plus remaster of the original Sonic Generations, which is worth the purchase by itself, but also an intense and high-octane Shadow campaign that not only rivals the base vanilla game, but might actually be a lot better than it is when it comes to cinematic feats, gameplay, and even storytelling. Sure, it's not perfect, with some areas still being annoying like Wisp theme levels, or change in dialogue being a bummer, and one of the weirder changes. But with all the unlockables for both campaigns, classic stages from both Sonic and Shadow's past returning with a brand new perspective, more insight to Gerald Robotnik and Maria, Black Arm's return, great use of chaos control, dramatic and over-the-top boss battles for the Shadow campaign that has you saying holy crap to yourself as you play, and new power-ups for Shadow, all of it just makes this the complete package and definitely cements a new level of Sonic is good again to the argument, because for the last few years from games to TV shows to movies, this little blue blur and his now more brooding other half have proven that yes, Sonic is indeed good again, and shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon, especially with Sonic 3 hitting theaters soon. So with all that having been said, my verdict is clear. Game and Chick says bye now.
Hey, Sonic! Enjoy your future! It's gonna be great!